All right. So I think this is part four of my creative brief conversation. And I'm going through the HubSpot creative brief article that I found under marketing creative brief. And I'm critiquing how they're talking about it. And I think this is a really helpful way to really understand the creative brief by looking at something I sort of agree with and sort of don't agree with. As I see it, a creative brief for a campaign should be what is it we're selling? Who's it for? And why does it matter? And B2B, often this is a creative brief that sits at the center of a campaign, right? There's a campaign brief that you run for a quarter, you run for a half a year, or whatever, right? This creative brief is a one pager and it gives you information so that you can create a landing page. And the landing page is either just an iteration of the creative brief, kind of like a little more than an ad, or you actually have sections, right? That build out the promise, build out the idea, but it all is contained within the creative brief. So you say, here's the problem you have and how we'll solve it. You have this now you have this landing page that's nice and specific. And you have one landing page for each creative brief, right? And that landing page is going to be ultra powerful for that segment that you've identified that you want to market to. And they're going to see real value there. And even if they don't buy now, right, or whatever you say, or contact us, or pick up the phone and call, it's because they're not ready yet. It's not because they're not perfect, right? So that's the goal, is to get them a landing page that is perfect for them, where they get on it and they're like, these guys understand my problem, and this is the solution for me. It's just I'm either not ready yet, or maybe I am ready yet, and I cannot wait to pick up the phone and call you guys because you get me, right? So now let's look at the creative brief. And so so what you do is you'd have the creative brief. You'd have your writer write 100 headlines. You would turn some of those concepts into some campaigns. You choose the campaign you like, and then you would run that campaign on like promoted posts, display network, whatever. And then all those things would potentially point to your landing page. Then you might do some retargeting, right, or remarketing or whatever to for when people do visit your page, that they get served up your ads more often. Um, and and now you have the sweet campaign, right? So let's look at the creative brief examples now. This is part four. Again, you should watch the other videos as well. Having trouble with the flow and organization of your brief? No, I never do. What is it? Who's it for? Why does it matter? And then the single most important thought, put that at the top. Here are simple templates that can help. Copy and paste into a document and fill in the blanks. You can also add the templates to the templates or adjust them as needed for your project. Creative brief template. This is way too much crap. It's well designed. I told you that there was that one Wyden and Kennedy planner who I had talked to my class, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I do video creative briefs." And I'm like, that's stupid, because now you're obscuring all your hard strategy work in a video that has a bunch of distractions, colors, and the skateboarder. Don't freaking tell the creative how to what colors to choose. Don't tell them all, the brand will do that. You don't need a video. You don't have to have a cool skateboarder to show how cool the brand is. Give me what is it, who's it for, and why does it matter to that customer? And that's what I need to know. I'll work from there, but you need the verbal skills to be concise. And if you can't be concise, so you have to make a video, or you have to do a whole bunch of, what I mean, kind of thing. Don't give me that. You're not a planner. Stop, get better at planning, get better at writing a brief, get more concise. Okay. All right. I sound like I'm being super hard on people, but this is a logical exercise. You can't just be like sloppy you can't have a lack of clarity in your brain and write a good creative brief. Okay. So this feels very competitors. No, don't give me competitors. Don't tell me what the budget is. I don't care. I'm writing headlines. It's a creative brief, not a marketing brief. Target audience, yes, but you need more room for this. Put a picture in there by all means. This is great. Put a picture in there, but I need a lot more information than just primary audience name. Key benefit. Yeah, I mean, sure. But put that under why do they care? Remember, what is it? Who's it for? Why do they care? Um, put it under why do they care? Key message, I'd call the single most important thought and put it at the very top. Project project objective. If that means CTA, then yeah, tell me what you want them to do. But if you're like, our job is to sell more of these things, I don't care. You don't need to tell me that. All I need to know is all I need to know is how to talk to these people. That's all I need to know and what to tell them, right? They don't care what your project objective is. So I don't need to know really, right? I need to know the benefit. I need to know who they are. And then I need to know that's why it matters to them. And then I need to know the details about the thing you're selling that connect with this problem that solves this problem. That's all I need to know. Tell me the benefit and then give me a few features about your product that if I want to, I can use that will help me understand how it actually solves the problem for your client or your audience. Don't give me attitude and then don't give me distribution. Don't care about that. Oh, here's the call to action. So don't do this, do that. Great. What else do we have? For so and so years, brand name has been serving customers in the with product or service. What is this? Company background? No, don't give me company background. Don't care. Only tell me company background if it fits into why do they care, right? If it justifies them buying, if it justifies them fulfilling the CTA, or if it connects with them somehow, but still the CTA. Okay. Project object. Oh, this is a new brief. Yeah. Don't give me company background. Cut that. Um, share the brand guide if you want with them, like the shortest version of the brand guide you have. Share that with them. Don't put it in the creative brief. Project objective. With this project, the company aims to solve the problems related to expanding on, improving on what is, if that has to do with the audience, then put it in there. If not, don't. Target audience, this is what you need. Competitors, no, don't put that in there. Key message, yes, but it shouldn't be this long. The target audience is experiencing blank pain point, but with our newest project, something, they'll get to experience new experience without the pain point. That's what makes an unrivaled solution within the market. The word unrivaled is horrible. Don't use that, but I take it back. A lot of this stuff is parenthetical. Pain point, new experience of the pain point, solution. This is actually fine. Key message, this is good for a single most important thought. That's fine. Good, use that. Key consumer benefit. Yeah, but don't have key consumer benefit. Put that in. Why does it matter to them? Attitude, don't have it. Don't, just cut that out. Call to action. Yeah, that's good. They will think, feel, or do. But think about this. Yes, you can have think, feel, or do, but choose one. And then usually I'll say like, what do we need to say in order for them to feel or think in such a way that they will do something, right? Because usually there's some kind of action, but sometimes it's just a think and feel. Sometimes it's just awareness, like, hey, know about this, right? Because we'll have a call to action in sometime later for you, right? So that's fair. But remember that doing requires a thought first. You, unless it's an impulse, but in B2B marketing, usually it's not an impulse decision to buy something. Okay, distribution, don't just cut that out. That doesn't need to be in there. Here are more templates to consider. Sample creative brief, campaign name, campaign timeline, whatever. I wouldn't put this in the creative brief at all. Project overview. No, don't have something that's like an overview because that's too unstructured. Because then it can turn into rambling. What problem are we solving? How? Yeah, that's good. But that goes in the persona that goes into the meet Maria, because what's their problem? What's her problem that we're solving? The how can be, I don't know. it needs to be in one of those three sections. What is it we're selling? Who's it for? Why does it matter? Benefits important. Yeah, this one is just really poorly organized. I'm going to move on. Video creative brief. Oh my goodness. You raise your ugly head again. Do not have a video creative brief. Do not use a video creative brief. If you are, you're probably trying to make it squishy and you're probably trying to weasel out of being specific. Video creative briefs are for people who aren't logical and who aren't verbal and who can't write a creative brief, haven't done the research, and they're trying to justify their salary and produce something that looks like a deliverable. Don't do a video creative brief. Enough said. Simple client creative brief. Yeah, you can date your document. I don't care. I wouldn't, but whatever. Key description of the project. That seems vague. What problem? Good. Who's the customer? Yes. What's the consumer insight? So I would put that is good. I would put that into the creative brief. Usually customer insights come from qualitative research. So in the process of writing the brief, in the process of researching, you might go out and say, you might go out and do a focus group. You might do interviews, which is kind of like a focus group, but it's one-on-one instead of a focus group. It's way better to talk to one person at a time if you have the budget. And what you end up doing is called qualitative research, and you want to let them take the conversation where they want it to go, because the assumption in qualitative research is I don't know what questions I need to ask, and I don't want to lead you to questions that I think you should be asking. I don't want to lead you to a conclusion. I want to find out where you take it, because you're the customer, and I want to hear the words that you use, and I want to see you reason your way to it, and I want to be in that conversation. Because what's going to happen is you're going to hear something that is really powerful and really emotional in that person's life, having to do with your product. And you're going to say, that's interesting. I wonder how many other people feel that way. And then pretty soon, you're going to have the next person you talk to, you're going to start getting hints that they feel the same way. Now, you're doing with quantitative research, you survey a bunch of people, right? And you have them fill out things, but you know the questions you want to ask. But with qualitative, you're talking with just a few people, 15, 20 people, right? And what you're looking for that insight, that one weird thing you're like, whoa, that kind of makes sense, but I never thought of it that way. And I bet my client didn't think of it that way either, right? And so you start hearing that a couple more times, and now it's called saturation. You're hearing it a couple of different times by a couple of different people, and they're talking about the same thing. And you never thought that would be a way that they would look at this product or their problem, right? And that's what's called an insight. If you just say like, oh, companies need HubSpot because they need a place to keep track of their, contacts. That's not an insight. Come on, everybody knows. It's the definition of a CRM, right? It's not an insight unless it's interesting. So, all right, what's the consumer insight? Comes from qualitative research, and you don't know it unless you talk to people. But if you get an insight, oh boy, now you have something that's gonna cut through the clutter like nobody's business. And if you want to know more about that, read Truth, Lies, and Advertising by John Steele, and he'll talk about the Got Milk campaign and exactly how they arrived at the insight of deprivation, right? Of you eat a cookie and then you get home and you don't have your milk. How'd they come up with that? Well, he'll tell you all about how he did it in that book. What facts and emotional reasons will make people buy, convert? That's kind of like facts and emotional reasons, dude. This is too vague. The consumer pain points, that's what you want to know. But you only want to know the pain point in a creative brief that is relevant to what we're selling. You don't want to list off a bunch of pain points. You want to list off the one that matters to the writer. What are the 3 key points that need to be communicated to the customer? No. 3 points? No way. Don't have 3 points. What will make the buyers believe us? That might be something you have in there, right? But only if you think they might have trouble believing you, right? You don't need to justify something. You don't need to waste time in your ad justifying something if it doesn't need to be justified. Don't do it. It's a waste of time and it takes focus from your ad and power from your ad dollar. Um, if you have three key points, say, do this. Say, okay, well, given the benefit that we're trying to offer clients, here are the three things we do that make good on that benefit. If that's what you're going to do, but that's not what it says here. It says three key points. That's too vague. Don't do that. What channels and tactics will we use? Will we used to communicate the message? I would say that don't put this in the creative brief. The creative brief, let the creative brief be for the concept and not for the ad itself. If you want to say, oh, we're going to do this medium, and this medium, we'll create a separate document that outlines the specs for that medium. Don't put that in the creative brief. Put it on the back, put it on another page and staple it to the creative brief. I don't know, right? List of required deliverables. Yeah, same thing, right? This is kind of the same right there. What should be the tone of the messaging? What words describe the brand? Don't do that. Don't put that in the brief. Let's see. Is there another? How many should we do? Oh, types of creative briefs. The marketing creative briefs. No, let's see. A creative brief can be used for both new and existing campaigns, broad business goals, and strategies. Here's the problem. There are too many times where the business people will try to write a brief and they want to add a bunch of information and sound all sophisticated and use big words and buzzwords and everything. An account planner who is a strategist does not care about any of that bullcrap. That person only cares about giving the writer and the designer what they need, only the information they need. Don't tell me what colors to use and any of those things for the message to come through. And copywriting is one of the biggest areas of opportunity to break through with content. And so keep it focused on those things. Keep it focused on what is it, who's it for, and why does it matter to the people we're trying to sell to? And you'll be in good shape. And I'm going to stop it here because this has been a really good little conversation. And I feel like I've shared a lot of things that I didn't know when I first started. And so let me know in the comments what other kinds of questions you have, and we'll start from there. We'll start the conversation there.